Felicity, thank you for taking your time to talk to Image.ie about your role in the Stephen Hawking biopic, The Theory of Everything, in which you play Jane Hawking. I saw the movie last week and it was amazing. I was crying from like 15 minutes in.
Thanks. Well, I don't like to make you cry, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You met Jane in real life, and her role in the movie and in her life has been really complicated. She's balanced so much, being a mother, a wife, and also trying to pursue her own career. How did you prepare for such an exhausting role?
Well, it felt, when you're playing a real person, it comes with a huge amount of responsibility because you know that person's going to see the film eventually. So my instinct was to understand Jane as thoroughly as possible, and that was very much approaching the role technically. Jane has a very idiosyncratic voice, a particular way of moving and walking, so I worked on inhabiting that side of her, but also her emotional experience is vast because you're playing someone over 25 years. So the film was based on Jane's book, so I was always coming back to that. Before I'd go out to set, I'd read little passages, and there's amazing strength that Jane has, and this determination and this willfulness, and throughout the whole time she was looking after Stephen, they were constantly told, he's not going to survive, or we can't do this, and Jane has had this incredible positivity. So it was trying to show that strength, but without it being cliched or turning her into a saint, because she's also a woman who has a sexual identity, who had an affair, and also was adamant about being taken seriously in academia. So there was so much for me to work on in playing Jane.
And you tend to play younger than your years on screen. What was it like to age on screen?
Well, it's actually more fun playing someone when they're older, and particularly Jane, because she was very nervous in her book. I was trying to capture her shyness and nervousness, and what I loved is when she got older, she with a disability, there's a lot of prejudice you encounter, and sometimes there's people, you get patronized, and I loved how Jane became very much sort of tougher, and I loved that transition in her, that you see her, she doesn't, she gets older, she doesn't mess around, she's much more direct. So it's really fun playing those scenes, and she has this incredible wit as well that I loved about her.
And what was the best thing about working with Eddie Redmayne in this movie?
Well, Eddie and I have a very similar way of working. We both love to do loads of takes, which I'm sure drove James crazy. Like, one more, just one more. And it felt like a true collaboration. This film is about Jane has even become like one person. So if you were working with someone that you didn't get on with, it would have been terrible. But we just naturally have just cared about them both so intensely, and so it was truly collaborative.
And Eddie has said in interviews that Stephen Hawking could be quite a flirt. What was it like when you met the world's most intelligent man?
Well, I mean, it's quite intimidating at first, and you have that thing where you just talk too much. So both Eddie and I, when we met him, we were sort of overcompensating for our nerves and probably making total fools out of ourselves. But he is, Stephen is someone who doesn't suffer fools. So he probably thought I got a couple of fools here. But he's incredibly sharp and funny, and makes you feel welcome. He is extraordinary and has an amazing group of nurses he works with, and so he really, both Jane and Stephen, really welcomed us into their lives in a very open way.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of you on the red carpet this spring.
Thanks.